Could a Clint Capella trade be coming for the New York Knicks? According to Ian Begley of SNY, over the weekend, the New York Knicks were in conversations with the Atlanta Hawks, so we'll break that down. Also, reports are coming out from Mark Stein around Tom Thibodeau and a potential contract extension that could have him earn $10 million per season. We'll break down the latest quotes around that. But if you're ready for the regular season with Summer League in the books, hit that thumbs up icon. Free agency's all but done. Summer League's over. Regular season is right around the corner. If you're excited, like today's video. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. Ian Begley reporting the New York Knicks have checked in with the Atlanta Hawks on a potential trade for their longtime starting center, Clint Capella. This was the full quote from Begley where he wrote, Clint Capella of Atlanta was one big that the New York Knicks checked in on. I don't know how far talks went, and I don't know if they're active at this very point, but they did check in on Capella. I thought that was interesting because Zach Lowe of ESPN also over the weekend reported that Capella is on the trade market. And as we know, the New York Knicks are not done adding to this roster. They are not content with their center rotation being Mitchell Robinson, Jericho Sims, as well as Ariel Hukporti. So they are trying to find ways to add talented big man to this roster, and they have landed on a potential trade for Capella. You look at what he's done over the last 4 seasons, and he's really just the epitome of consistency. 4 years in a row, averaging more than a double-double. Played in 73 games this year, 65 last year, 74 the year before that, and 63 back in 2020, 2021. So not only is he consistent with his production, giving you double-digit points and double-digit assists, he's also giving you north of 63 games, it seems like, every single year. And that has to be a major selling point for the New York Knicks. He was also giving you almost 2 blocks per game over the better part of 4 seasons. So you're getting a guy that can contribute around the rim on offense, really good in the pick and roll game. If you remember that pick and roll with him and James Harden back in Houston, one of the most dynamic plays in the association. He's an elite lob catcher, and he's someone that can protect the rim and be someone that's dominant on the glass. He does have just 1 year and $22 million left on his contract. So if the Knicks are trying to get a deal done, they're going to have to get sticky with it and make some moves that maybe a lot of people aren't in agreement with. And that could mean trading Mitchell Robinson for Clint Capella. Because if you're trying to get to $22 million, you're going to have to include that $14, $15 million salary of Robinson. And Begley even mentioned that it might be Robinson for Capella. He said this, you can infer that Mitchell Robinson would have probably been in that trade because Capella is a starting center. Or maybe the Knicks would have said Robinson and Capella could be our platoon at center this season. And that would be ideal, right? If your starting center would be Mitchell Robinson and your backup's Capella or vice versa, you would have one of the better center rotations in 48 minutes of elite center play. But I'm not sure how the Knicks could muster up $22 million of outgoing salary to accept the incoming salary of Capella, and they don't want to hard cap themselves at that first apron after they already did so many things to undo that with that Mikal Bridges trade. I think it's safe to say at this point the Knicks do not have confidence in Robinson being able to play all 82 games for the New York Knicks. Look, I think they trust in his ability. They like what he brings to a team and his overall production in a basketball game, but when it comes down to it, he's played in just more than 50 games one time in the last 4 seasons, and sometimes the best ability is availability, and it's been proven that Robinson is going to miss a stretch of the season, it seems like almost every year. Begley also wrote over the weekend that Knicks are looking for a center that could start maybe 30 games, because that's about how many the Knicks think Robinson will probably have to miss because of injuries. So before we dive into Tom Thibodeau and that, I want to hear from you in the comment section. If you can only choose one of these big men to be the starting center for the New York Knicks next year, who would it be? Is it Capella? Is it Robinson? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. For me, I don't love the idea of trading a 26-year-old Mitchell Robinson for a 30-year-old Clint Capella. I think Capella at this point is probably a better basketball player than Robinson. I think Robinson's better on the glass, and I think he protects the rim a little bit more. But I think Capella is a little bit more gifted on the offensive end. averaging over double digits for the last 4 seasons, even 15 points per game just a couple of seasons ago. He's a much better pick and roll threat. He makes himself much more available in lobs. But at the end of the day, one guy's 4 years younger. One guy's also $8 million cheaper. And I think if you're trading Robinson, you could probably get back a better player than Capella. I'm sure Leon Rose and crew are doing everything they can to go and find a potential trade to make. Calling Atlanta was probably step number 1 in that process. And I'm sure it won't be the last of what we hear about the Knicks potentially making a trade for another big man. I do know this, though. If the Knicks make a move, we are going to make a video on this channel. So subscribe and turn your notifications on. That way you never miss a thing with the New York Knicks. And also, help us reach our goal of 52,000 subscribers. We're less than 450 away. So if you love the Knicks and you want free videos, subscribe to the channel right now. Also, check out our awesome t-shirt that we're bringing back before the season gets started. Chatsports.com/RealKnicks. That's chatsports.com/RealKnicks. We got a blue one. We got a black one. You can get it today. I'll make sure this link is clickable down in the comments and description of today's video. Get your shirts before they're sold out and be ready to go for game 1 of the regular season, which I assume will be against the Boston Celtics. All righty, could a Tom Thibodeau contract extension be on the horizon for Leon Rose, Worldwide Wes, and Tom Thibodeau? We've talked about it for quite some time now that an extension is well deserved by Thibodeau, but Mark Stein wrote that it might just happen here pretty soon. He says, quote, "There was a strong expectation at Summer League that a contract extension for Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau will be announced in the near future. Has been regarded for weeks as a lock to receive a new deal that pays at least $10 million annually." And I know there's some people that still believe that Tom Thibodeau is a terrible person. He's a terrible coach. He's not someone that is really, I would say, advanced in his offensive approach. He runs his players into the ground, and those people are just miserable. Tom Thibodeau deserves the bag, and he deserves to be the Knicks coach for, honestly, as long as he wants to be. He's done a great job since taking over in that 2021 season. His first year got the Knicks to the 4th seed, almighty 4th seed, in that COVID season. And they lost in the first round of the playoffs, but I would say that was an awesome achievement for this ball club. The next year, they took a step back. Randall struggled. Nobody really progressed. Not sure exactly what happened that year, but they got right back on track after they signed Jalen Brunson, an NBA free agency, won 47 games. They were 5th in the East, but lost in the second round. Then this past year, with injuries to Anunoby, injuries to Randall, injuries to Robinson, injuries to everybody, it seemed like, they were still able to win 50 games and to get that second spot in the Eastern Conference, but yet again lost in the second round to a team with a lower seed. He's done a great job. But the thing I'm most impressed about with Tom Thibodeau is the way that he's been able to develop players. And when people come to the New York Knicks, it seems like they are going to reach the top of their career projection. Jalen Brunson goes from a guy in Dallas that was looked at as a supplementary piece, a guy that could help Luka, or maybe someone that they didn't think could be a starting point guard on an NBA championship team, comes to the Knicks, and he's a top 5 player in the NBA. Julius Randle goes from bouncing around from the Lakers to the Pelicans to getting a short-term deal with the Knicks, and now he's looked at as a 3-time All-Star and a 2-time All-NBA player. Josh Hart found a home with the Knicks, exceeded all expectations after being in that deal for Cam Reddish and a first-round pick, signs a $90 million deal, and he had one of the best postseason runs in recent Knicks history. Dante DiVincenzo was in the running for 6th man of the year. He couldn't find minutes in the playoffs last year for the Golden State Warriors. Now he's on one of the best contracts in the NBA, and he just had his best season to date. Miles McBride, 2nd-round pick out of West Virginia, was a guy that didn't look like he belonged in the NBA. Then thanks to his hard work, the tutelage under Tom Thibodeau, he continues to get better and better. Isaiah Hartenstein goes from signing a 2-year, $16 million deal to end up leaving the New York Knicks because he played so good and out-earned that contract, to signing a 3-year, almost $90 million deal. And Mitchell Robinson goes from no college, 2nd-round pick, to the best rebounder in the NBA and one of the best rim protectors. People have developed under Tom Thibodeau, and not only are you looking for someone that's going to implement a culture and help you win games, you're looking for coaches that are going to help players reach their apex of their potential, and Tibbs has done that more often than not. You look at the highest paid coaches in the NBA and where Tibbs may stack up against some of these guys. It was just about 14 months ago where Monty Williams kind of reset how coaches got paid, and then 14 months after that, he got fired. So Despite being paid $13.1 million on average annual value, he is out of the NBA. Ty Lue just signed that mega deal with the Los Angeles Clippers for $14 million. Eric Spoelstra making 15, Pop making 16, and Kerr making 17 and a half. So I don't see how there's a world where you can say Tom Thibodeau doesn't, I would say, expect to earn at least $14 million. Like, he's done just as good of a job as Ty Lue has with the Clippers. I know Ty Lue won a championship with the Cavs, but there's been more success in New York than there has in L.A. recently, and I think Tibbs deserves every dollar that's going to be heading his way here pretty damn shortly. The question I want to end today's show with is this. Can Tom Thibodeau win a championship as a head coach? This has been a talking point for a long time surrounding Tibbs, dating back to his days with the Chicago Bulls. Can he win a ring as the head coach? Why for yes and for no? I truly believe that he can. I think he gets the most out of his players. I think his players love playing for him. We heard OG Anunoby talk about that over the weekend. He's a defensive-minded coach. Defense is always going to win championships in professional sports. And as long as you get the most out of your players, you continue to get better at in-game adjustments, and you grow on the offensive end, I do believe that he can win a championship as the head coach for the New York Knicks. Make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks.